Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Time to get up, move your body. Some of y'all been up moving already. Shout out to the 630 crew. Shout out to Beth on the run today. Try to put a little 630 hip hop together for you. You know what it is. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Ooh.
On this here hump day.
Be humping around.
Hey.
Oh. You feeling that funk today, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, I could just hear the funk as I read off that new that new list. Blue Note.
Ooh.
Napa Valley. Going down.
Yes, sir. All right.
Man.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, chat chimers, ghost listeners. You know what it is.
Hey.
A fresh edition on this Wednesday, April 5th, 2023. This is April 5th, ain't it?
Yeah, man. 4-5-23 already. Years 25% over already.
Man, it's a trip.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to the radio crew. Thanks for the feedback this morning. Appreciate it. I'm glad you liked the mix. Go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the listen button, and check out a celebration of black music. And of course, we're playing a lot of hip hop on the channel right now.
Man,
it's 50 years of hip hop this year. Yeah,
50.
It's going down. Pops
in the chat.
That's right. Pops in the chat. Good Wednesday morning and love to the First Guy fam. Appreciate you, Pops.
Man. Leah Keister in there. Wonderful Women's Wednesday. Say that 5 times fast.
I ain't even gonna say it one time fast. I don't need to say it fast. Yeah, good morning to you. Good morning over there. You guys are on YouTube, so thank you. Wanda Lewis is giving us a good morning on Facebook. Now we know Facebook and YouTube are working right now.
Hey.
So appreciate you very much. Good morning to you. Man, I don't know. I'm trying to wake up a little bit. How you feeling?
Yeah. I'm gonna ask how you doing. He tired, boss. I'm all right. I'm a little tired myself. Caught myself again, like I mentioned earlier. Caught myself trying to wake up early, and then ended up falling back asleep. Almost ended up late. But you know, we in here. Definitely looking forward to doing it. Looking forward to speaking to the ladies. It's been a couple weeks. Again, we weren't able to do the thing last week. So definitely looking forward to speaking to them.
It's always a good time talking to Precious and Kimara, for real.
Oh yeah. The dynamic duo. So definitely appreciate them and look forward to speaking to them every Wednesday, which makes Women's Wednesday so wonderful, as Leah Keister put it.
Wonderful Women's Wednesday.
Yes. So yeah, man. Looking forward to that. Also, a lot of things going on. So looking forward to hearing some of your thoughts out there. Actually, some of the chat chimers hitting us up about some things. So definitely, be prepared to let your mind be free, let your voice be heard on these topics. Some of the stuff y'all are educating us about. Like we're like, I didn't really even know about this, but we're gonna definitely talk about it. We do have the stories pulled and things like that. So we will definitely talk about that.
Yeah, really appreciate everybody putting stuff in Friends of First Sky Omaha. That really helps out.
Yeah, man.
Let us know what's on your mind, what's on your hearts and minds, like we're always talking about. So, yeah, thank you. Christy Nor gives us a good morning from YouTube. Good morning to you as well. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
You guys got any summer? Summer's coming up here pretty soon. I'm just thinking about plans for the summer. We definitely want to talk about the Napa trip that we are contemplating, and also I want to do something. We need to do some kind of big show or a Chad Chimers kickback or something like that in the summer as well. So, if you
Man.
guys got any good ideas, I'll put it out there to the Chad Chimers. Let us, give us some ideas on what you think. What you think we should be doing. I kind of want to get some kind of concert, like some kind of regular once a year concert happening. Where,
Oh,
hmm
speaking of that, actually, you just reminded me. I reached out to a friend of mine, a DJ, OG DJ3, who's in like the Oklahoma area, but he's a head of Coalition DJs, which is the DJ group I'm a part of. He's
yeah,
the head of Coalition DJs Midwest, and they have a
mm,
tour that they put together at Kansas City, um, Wichita, Oklahoma City, and a couple other cities, and I'm trying to get Omaha as a part of that. So, yeah, big shout out to all the Omaha artists. Yeah, we're definitely trying to create that pipeline, create that link, get some more, acts and more energy, more attention to the Omaha area as far as music goes. So as far as bringing some artists, bringing some shows to the Omaha area, that might be an avenue.
yeah.
And then also big shout out, actually, man, you just reminded me. I saw my man Vado. Salvado on Monday, he pulled up to Stankonia for our new Music Monday event that the DJs has, and he actually had an Omaha artist with him, Miss V.
Oh yeah, okay. What
Yeah,
he was hosting some Omaha artists out in Atlanta. That's what I'm
yeah,
talking.
yeah. Actually, I think he
Yeah.
was out there shooting for her.
Okay.
He was shooting her performance. But yeah, man, it was definitely pleasant to see a
That's dope.
Omaha artist come down to Atlanta and step on one of the biggest platforms down here in the city.
Wow.
Talking about New Music Monday, and I reached out to actually a couple of other artists from Omaha on Instagram that'll be coming down here, man. So. Yeah, the pipeline is definitely coming together and building that Omaha Atlanta connection as far as music goes. A lot of talent in Omaha, but not really the resources. So
Yeah.
trying to get people plugged in.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm over there at Benson Theater, and we definitely are putting some things together there as well. Got a Mother's Day brunch coming up that's going to be huge.
Mm,
Mother's Day jazz brunch. So I'm like back tapping some of these artists around here, locally to put a little something together. Man, we might have some heavy hitters coming in for that
man,
Mother's Day brunch. I'm looking forward to it. And it's just it's a good place, man. It's a good place to I'm kind of building out the band there. I'm kind of building out like a house band and other resources to come in. It's a great place to play live, and incorporated in some of the. There's not a whole lot of places for the community to do much of the kind of playing that we do. Jazz
hmm
stuff and hip hop stuff and so on. So.
yeah,
We're trying to make that the thing, like a jazz brunch every month and stuff like that. So,
at the
and
theater,
it's been working out, man. Yeah, it's been working out over there. We had Edam over there last time. She blew us away with that harp.
man. I was gonna ask about that.
Blew us away. But speaking of music and being blown away, man, I got to tell you, we finally got the lineup of the next Napa Valley.
Man,
Yeah, dude, we finally got the lineup, and it's kind of I'm kind of blown away. It's Robert Glasser, of course, he's artist in residence, but of course, this time he's gonna bring De La Soul, which
man,
I mean, if I just go see Robert Glasser and De La Soul, I'm good. But look at this, man. Mary J. Blige, Nas, Chance just dropped a verse on something that I just saw on social media that was like, what? Who was this? And it was Chance, and I'm not a big Chance fan, but that verse was like one of the all time verses of the year.
really?
Yes,
I'm gonna have to see what you talk about.
yeah, dude, it was dope. But of course, I'm me, old head. I'm looking at this Parliament Funkadelic featuring George Clinton, which I feel like
Man,
is going to be some of the last times that he is even going to be performing. There's rumors that this is going to be his last year touring. So there's a matter of fact, there's a Funkadelic Fishbone show coming up too, and they've been talking about it like it's going to be our last year touring with George Clinton. So yeah, man. But then of course, Rakim, Jazzy Jeff, Talib, Madlib. Come on, man. Michelle and
Diggable
Degacello,
Planets,
Thinkable Planets,
Dami and JD, of course. Yeah. It's gonna be a good time.
Ghost Note, which means my man Mono Neon's gonna be there. J. Period. I mean, look at this lineup, man. Bobby McFerrin even gonna be here. Bobby
Man,
McFerrin, don't worry, be happy, gonna be on the stage.
And it looks like, is that his son? That'll be.
I don't know. I don't know. I know. I
It's
didn't even
another
know he was doing
McFerrin.
stuff, bro. Didn't even know he was doing stuff.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so it's gonna be good, man. And every time we try to make some connections here with these this level right here, Anderson Paak, I can't forget to talk about him. Gary Clark Jr., who I feel like a lot of people love. I think he's all right. I'm not a big fan, but
mm,
I've been very entertained every time he plays. But like these are some heavy hitters that we would love to be able to bring back to Omaha and expose Omaha to. So we're definitely working on that too. Soul Live, I got to tell you about the story about Soul Live. I'm super
mm.
surprised to see them on here. And of course, you can see Terrace Martin right there next to Rhapsody. So Corey Henry, so if you're not up on what's going on in music, you kind of only just have to check this show out.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? Like to hear about what the forefront of music is doing right now, the upper echelons of musicianship, the high, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the superstars of all of them, and of course hosted by Dave Chappelle. So this is an extension to me of like everything he was doing from Block Party and everything else. But
pretty much.
if Block Party didn't happen, this Blue Note thing wouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised. Like I bet you the Roots will be there next year.
Man, yeah, yeah.
So is what it is, man. Good morning, Mama God gives us a good morning. First Sky fam, we in here talking about music already, even though there's a lot going on, and I'm glad we're talking about music first with this news of Trump being arrested and all this other
Oh
stuff.
man, yeah, yeah. It's kind
Whole,
of
whole world talking about all this mess, man, and that's cool. We're gonna have to mention it. We're gonna have to talk about it, and
yeah.
there's some people that are rejoicing over it. I talked to Michelle Trosclair yesterday. She was like, "Let's record a soapbox moment. I can't wait." So everybody's all had it's something to tell. It's definitely some news. It's definitely a historical moment.
Oh yeah,
The next president gets indicted, but we got to talk about that quote unquote perp walk that didn't look like any other arrest. I never seen no arrest look like that.
yeah, yeah. We'll
He
talk about
basically
it.
called in like my man said. He was like, "Yeah, I'll be there between 10 and 2 next Wednesday. Just gonna call in your own indictment. Just come when you want.
Pretty
So
much.
But lots of ramifications when you put all the parts together economically and even politically and even what's going on the world stage with Russia, with Ukraine, with lots of stuff kind of concerning when you put it all together. So we'll definitely be talking a little bit about that. As a matter of fact, what are some of the other things that are on the agenda that we should be discussing?
Yeah, yeah. I guess we are about 15 minutes into the show. There are a few things to talk about, not just Trump, but we do have some news happening in our own backyard. Um, I think Bill King was on Monday, and he had mentioned that he was supposed to have brother Tony Goins on his show. Apparently, that did not happen, but there is some news coming out about Tony Goins, who is the director of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development. And there's some questions about some spending or some money that he received in the form of a grant for a business that he owned. So again, Tony Goins, the director of the Nebraska Department of Economic Development, getting funds that went through the department. Some people are calling conflict of interest. So we'll definitely look at that. And also for me, that's kind of piquing interest because some of the LB 1024 funds are being petitioned or there's a amendment. There we go. I believe 531 is asking for the funds to come through the Department of Economic Development. So if there's some questions or some scrutiny on money coming through there, we should probably know about that. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that and more in regards to that situation. Also, following the money, looking at what's going on with Governor Pillen's school bill. Again, $1 billion set aside for education under Pillen's plan, and now it looks like there might be more funding coming through that plan. So we'll definitely talk about LB 583 exactly what is the next step for Pillen's plan. Again, a big shout out to Senator Wayne, who's fighting, in the trenches, if you will, who's been very vocal on this plan, saying that there's a portion that's not coming to Omaha. Of course, North Omaha being left out yet again.
Mm.
And speaking of North Omaha being left out, looks like Gene Stothert is under the microscope if you will, or maybe even on fire after a plan that she has for more diversity on her board is under scrutiny as it really hasn't met up to its goals. Big surprise. And it looks like Stothert isn't happy about it. So we'll definitely dive into some of that news as well. And then also there's some news coming out about Union Pacific, kind of reminding us that there are some tensions still in the regards of the railroad workers, and this story is just another example of that. So we'll definitely talk about that. Mayor Sanchez, if you have some input, we'd definitely love to hear from you again, one of our resident railroad workers. So yeah, definitely love to hear you input. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. As always, if you have anything to say on any of the articles that we're discussing, or even it's something we're not discussing and you feel like we should be discussing, definitely drop that into the chat. But in the meantime, in between time, let's go ahead and get the show started off right. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you, let's go.
Let's get it. What up, what up, what up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Chat Timers, Ghost Listeners. It is April 5th already, 2023. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. It's going down. We are here again with a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. And guess what? It is Women's Wednesday. We will have Precious McKesson, Politicin with P and Kimara Snipes, seeing what's good in the hood in the house. As a matter of fact, she's already in the chat. She says, good morning, y'all. Good morning to you, Miss Snipes. Appreciate you. I can't wait to talk to you today. Apologize for missing you guys last week, and really kind of feel the pain when we don't get to talk to the sisters during the week.
Man,
because they bring so much insight to everything that we talk about and everything that is on everybody's hearts and minds, and not just bringing insights, but in the mix, always down in the mix, representing everywhere, legislature, everywhere. So appreciate you guys, and can't wait to talk to you a little later on here in the show. But there are definitely some things that we need to talk about. I'm going to jump into the chat real quick just because it's going off this morning. We appreciate everybody that's coming on. Really appreciate it. Ariel's 402 says there's a new feature on YouTube, a couple of emojis we can give, we get to give reaction to.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons why we went over to YouTube as well, because there are some things on YouTube that can enhance the chat. We haven't gotten into them yet because, we be working all these jobs and don't have time to really dig in. But we're setting up over here on YouTube for that's part of the reason why, because they have some better tools there for us to be able to communicate on the chat. So we'll definitely look at that. She says under the heart. Okay, yeah. If you already know, let us know. We'll try to work out spreading the word on that.
Man,
got a good morning from Gwen Easter. Good morning to you. Appreciate it. Ariel's 402 says every election in America has been stolen. You sound like Trump. That sounds like what Trump presidential election. I mean, there's some truth to all of that for sure. Pop says, hey, I threw a party, of course, talking about Trump's indictment. He says I was the only invitee. So,
okay.
Pop's in there partying at his house.
I thought he was talking about nap time. I thought he was talking about siesta fiesta.
That's my kind of party.
Hey, party one.
Linda Lathan in the house over on Facebook. Appreciate you coming on. She says, I saw the article yesterday. Which one? Which article are you talking about?
We talk about them all.
Yeah, we were saying it. Also, Aries 402 says, must be an award to getting 200 subscribers. Maybe. Okay, so some new features because we passed 200 maybe. Okay, we'll look into it. Appreciate that. Brother King in the house. Boston with the King. He says they passed the audit. The other state department did not. They passed the audit. Okay, so we'll go back to that statement when we get to the story that we're talking about as well. Give us a little bit more insight on that, if you will, too. Appreciate you coming on this morning. Kimara Snipes just give us a good morning. She says, never apologize, but I also feel the pain, too. Love kicking it with y'all. Yeah, love it, man. It was definitely some stuff happening, man. Still grieving, of course, over personal things that's been going on and deaths in the family and so on and so forth. So it's always tough, man. I always get to that part of the morning where I go, man, should I get on here? Do I feel like, you know what I'm saying? Am I gonna get on
Mm.
and bum everybody out right now? You know what I mean? Like it never fails though. I get on and then we get to talking about some other stuff that is also very relevant in what's going on in life right now. So so yeah, and of course I always get encouraged and always learn stuff, and just get to speak to the fam. So that's always a good thing. I always end up going ahead and saying, yeah, let me come on. I know other things are happening, but let me come on anyway and do our thing and stay with
Right.
it. So,
Right.
yeah, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate y'all for real with all.
Man.
She says, "I'm content now that we have emojis." Okay, man. So this new emojis thing on YouTube, we got to look into it. That's what's up. Linda
Hmm.
Lathan says the crazy thing is about all that funding is that in order to qualify, usually an expenditure report is required that details what the money will be spent on. So how did they get approved in the first place? Pillen be illin. We're gonna have to figure. We're going to see what's going on with this whole thing. That's kind of it's funny because like you don't get the whole story sometime in one article. So
Oh no, no.
this is why what we're doing over here with y'all and you being our co-host here is very special because it takes time to peel the onion. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to understand what the first article is talking about, to link it to the rest of the stuff, to keep on having discussion about it, to reason on it, and and then hear other points of views from it, and then get a complete picture of what's really happening. So you can't just get Pillen can't just come on and say I raised this money for schools and so congratulate me. We gotta, what does it mean? What does it mean for the north side? What does it mean for where's the money going? Where's the money coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a lot of questions here. So yeah, we'll check into the article, bring it to y'all, and definitely talk and read and reason through it, and come up with some other information behind it, and figure some things out. What you think?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Figuring out what's going on and getting down to the bottom of the nitty gritty of it. Man, wouldn't be the same without y'all.
Yep. 7:22 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, so thanks for joining us again. I'm glad that you guys are in here and all fired up, ready to light up the chat. All the chat chimers in the house. So let's go ahead and jump into some of these things and get talking about it. I can't wait to when the ladies come on, we'll continue the conversation on some of the stuff we're talking about now. But let's set some things up. So what's
Yeah.
on the agenda?
Well, I was actually kind of just looking into what a lot of the chat chimers are obviously interested in talking about, and we'll start off with that. Kind of continuing to follow the money, talking about the situation going on with Director of Nebraska Department of Economic Development Tony Goines in this investigation, and this kind of ties into as Sister Linda Lathan and also Brother Bill King are kind of alluding to as far as the audit. We talked about the state audit last Monday, last episode. Again, the state auditor Mike Foley has calling out certain departments about some of the funding and some of the federal funds that came in. Again, now that we're about 2 years into spending and a lot of the funds that came in through the federal government CARES Act um, is now being dispersed. There's now being an audit. What happened with that money? Where did it go? Where is it going? And again, there's been some question. And I think that's what Brother King, again, if you can give more context, as Paul mentioned, to your comment, but I think that's what Brother King is saying about this Tony Goines situation, saying that Tony and the Department of Economic Development actually did pass the audit that, brought in some question about the Department of Military, the Department of Corrections, and Department of Health and Human Services. I think those were the three main departments that were being questioned about their spending. And again, it was mentioned that the state might have to either A, send some money back to the federal government, or B, might not be allowed to accept any further funding due to some of the spending.
Hmm.
And it's looking like this Tony Goines situation could be that, but again, I don't know. I don't know. As far as the report is saying, he did not. I'm kind of getting the sense it's similar to what happened with Brother Wayne. If you remember, again, Brother Wayne was a co-founder of the Sankofa organization, and the Sankofa organization was um, recommended for funds through LB 1024, which again, Senator Wayne was a part of bringing. So people were calling up conflict of interest, but one, it was recommended, and two, Brother Wayne was clear in stating that although he was a part of the business starting, that he wasn't a part of the request for the funds, wasn't part of filling out the application as far as that process. And that seems like the same story with Tony Goins. Again, if you're not familiar, Tony is the owner, at least a 51% stake owner of a Capital Cigar Lounge, which is located in South Lincoln. Apparently, they received funding from the CARES Act funds, which again were distributed by the Department of Economic Development. They received apparently two $12,000 small business grants, which again were a part of the CARES Act funds. The revelation provides a new wrinkle, of course, to concerns that were reported in the Nebraska Examiner about the relationship and possible conflict of interest. Also, a spokesperson for Jim Pillen, Governor Pillen, who reappointed Goins in his post in November, said Tuesday evening that the governor takes these reports extremely seriously and expects the utmost integrity from all members of his cabinet. The spokesperson also went on to say, "We are evaluating the situation and will have further communication as soon as possible." So we are expecting more information to come out, but there has been a no conflict of interest statement filed on behalf of Goins. Actually, Goins' business partner in the cigar lounge, Austin Hillis, told the Examiner on Friday that the business had never sought or received funds from Goins State Agency. However, on Tuesday, Department of Economic Development spokesperson confirmed that Midwest Leaf LLC, which is the entity that operates the cigar bar, did in fact receive grants from coronavirus relief funds on July 24th of 2020 and also December 8th of 2020. Funds which did not have to be repaid.
I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead. That's expand on the response, or what is that?
Precious is in the wings, and I'm watching her face, and she got me over here cracking up. Uh,
And you might be a little too soon to hop on, Precious, but if you want to jump in the chat, feel free. Feel
no,
free.
no, no. We got to bring her on and just. I don't have enough information to speak on this,
Okay.
so I'm not going to. I wanted to start.
Respect.
I wanted to start the conversation by bringing up this Nebraska Examiner article.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to reach out to Brother King again because I heard that Brother Goins is going to be on Brother King's show. He's in the chat right now saying it's legal. Yeah, I'm gonna let's go ahead and bring on Precious McKesson. Our special guest will be politicking with P, because her facial expressions got me absolutely needing to ask what is going on as far as what she knows on this. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Precious McKesson will be politicking with P. Good morning.
Look, baby.
Oh gosh, and I'll put the caveat out there as well. This is a story that again Chad Chimers had brought to our attention, and again Brother King, who is a part of the media landscape that we try to make sure we all support each other. He will be apparently having Brother Goins on. If you Brother King, if you reschedule with Goins, please let us know. But that's as much as I know about the story. So yes, please, if y'all can give context.
Good morning to you, Precious. First of all, your hair is looking fire right now.
Yes.
Thank
You're
you.
looking great, looking great. Thanks for getting up this morning and joining us. And let's go ahead and jump right into this here, because as me and Buddy just stated, we don't know enough yet. We're trying to just get the conversation started. So what say you?
I'll just say this: shout out to the Examiner for all of their due diligence that they've been doing, because they've been breaking a lot of stories.
Mhm.
Right.
I myself, I do not know much about it. I mean, I'm learning as everyone else. Um, I will say, when you are a part of, because I know even when I worked in the legislature, I had to um, send over like paperwork to the Nebraska Department, the NADC, the Nebraska Accountability and Disclosure,
Mm.
that is led by Mr. Frank Daly. And so you have to disclose certain things. So when I was on the land bank, I had to disclose certain things that I was doing that could be a conflict of interest when it comes to the work that I was doing in the legislature. So I can see that he has done that. Um, it goes back to, even though it was legal, and I think Vaughn just said it too, is it ethical? Because now you got to follow how it's done. Were you given special treatment to be able to get that money first? But again, he is a business owner. Um, I feel that just because it's a really fine line, because you are over the economic and development department, so you do have a little, you have the authority. You're the director. You have the authority to deny, approve, forget, push aside.
Right.
That's in your department, and maybe it sometimes it comes to the point to where if I'm an employee and I'm under you, and I go to you and say, hey, this application came in, and then I might think of retaliation if I don't approve it. It just becomes very, very touchy when you have a director who has a business and they're receiving these federal funds, and then you feel like you have to. Again, I don't know, but I mean, I could only imagine. But I mean, it's money that wasn't paid back. But there's a lot of these. There's senators in the legislature who received money. I mean, there's people in the Congress who have received money, and
Right.
didn't have to pay it back. So again, if there's no type of stipulation saying that you cannot be an elected official, you can't be this, you can't be that, then technically it is legal for them to receive those funds. So
I mean, if that, like I said, I don't know enough about this to speak on it. But if that's the only issue that we're talking about here, is that there might be a conflict of interest. He's ahead of some money's coming in, they're coming in a certain way to help out certain businesses that need him, and his business needed it, or his business got some of it. Maybe his business needed it. I don't really got to, everybody who's a business owner should be able to take advantage of that. Maybe there's a conflict of interest if he's voting on whether or not that those funds ought to come to it because he has a personal interest. But I still don't see that being an issue.
I just want to know why was this, if we was, I mean,
Uh, Again, I don't really know much about the
yeah.
details, but from what I'm reading more into the Nebraska Examiner report, it's a pretty lengthy report. So of course, we're not saying everything that is in the report. But from what I am reading from it, it does seem like he was a little apprehensive about disclosing the relationship. According to the report, he didn't disclose his ownership stake in the cigar bar until earlier this year, after someone sent a letter to the NADC saying Goins had not listed it on the statement of financial interest that you're talking about. The statement that you have to. So apparently, he omitted his ownership.
Oh,
Um,
Mm.
oh,
which until earlier this year, which is a little questionable. But even in that, I'll be honest, I'm kind of getting the LSU Iowa vibes. Like it's cool when they do it, it's a problem when I do it. You know what I mean? Like come on, man. Like yeah, exactly. Let's really think about it. Like how many elected officials do we really think aren't helping their folks out?
Well, listen, but buddy, didn't we just look at an article where the brother in the article was saying, if you want to know what's going on with the economy, look at what they pulling their money in and out of. Look at what the politicians are
Yeah.
investing in. Look at
man,
them.
they
Look at their
they
statements.
they are making money, like money, and off the backs of, and this is just talking. I mean, you can go look at any congressional person. They are making money off of the backs of their constituents, and this is why we can't get certain bills passed. Do you think they want to ban assault rifles? No, because what happens is then that goes into their pockets of their donors, of the NRA, who's giving them money. All you got to do is go and look at the FEC reports, the Federal Election Commission. You can go see all the money that Don Bacon is getting.
Hmm.
I mean, not Lee Terry, Don Bacon, Adrian Smith, Pete Ricketts.
Yeah.
You
And
can
not
look at
only
everybody's report, and you can
and
see
And
not
this
only
is all legal.
it's all legal. I mean,
and not only can you see what they're getting, what they're getting for political purposes, but now we just came across a site where you can look and see what their personal finances are doing and see what they're pulling their money in and out of at the time as well. You factor that in, and you can see what moves are getting ready to come.
I'm talking about like as far as stock investments and things like that.
Right.
and this is the thing, you have to report that stuff. Like I tell people this, like when I mean, I'm a poor girl, and I was gonna say poor, but I'm poor compared to everybody else. I'm poor, okay. And when I went to work for the administration, they peeled me back like an onion. I mean, they was asking me about doctor bills from 10, 15 years ago, and I
Mhm.
told them, no, I didn't pay that damn bill.
No, I
Kevin
didn't.
1,000.
I didn't keep it
I
100.
still
I'm
owe
like,
on that Mervin's card from back in the day, from back in the 90s.
I told myself I had to feed my kid and pay the light bill. Forget that
Right.
bill. I wasn't worried about that bill. So these are the things, like they have to report these things, and they ask you, and when you're filling that out, you sign an oath that you are telling, that you are giving the, you're telling the truth.
Hmm.
And it's up to the people within those departments to make sure that that information is accurate. And when you don't report something, that is a that I mean, how do you not report 51% as a 51% owner of a business? That means you're the majority if you own 51% of the business.
Yeah,
That's where that 1% comes in normally.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um.
yeah.
That's why it's 51%. But again, I don't know. I don't know Mr. Goins. I've heard nothing but great things about Mr. Goins.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
look forward to seeing him on William King's show.
Yep.
And the things that he is doing. I would like to see the. I want to. We have somebody in economic development, but again, I'm gonna go back to this, and I say this: we can praise all these people, we can praise their tours, we can praise everything they do, but North Omaha still looks the same.
North
Yeah.
Omaha still looks the same, but are there some businesses that did get helped in North Omaha because of those
Yeah,
efforts too? See,
I,
that's
I
the
think
thing too.
bigger businesses, not the small. I don't. I mean, I can't speak because I didn't research, but I know like
Yeah.
larger businesses got help because again, they were still up and running. A lot of I know um, Carmen Tapia, for instance.
Hmm.
Shout out
Teleservices.
shout out to her for North End Teleservices because during the pandemic, she kept her staff going.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she was booming.
She was
Yeah.
booming. She sent them home with their stuff, and I heard nothing but great things.
Yeah.
And so I think some businesses did benefit from it, but again,
So here's that's my point. My point is this, and I'm gonna keep starting with this caveat that I don't know enough about this to speak on it. But what I do know is that stuff people benefited. There was good stuff that happened, and there may be some shady stuff that happened. We don't know, but what we do know is, but the other question I have is who is starting, who is asking the questions, who is why is this even being brought up? Why is this why are we peeping this out? Where's that coming from? Somebody who's trying to say he's doing something shady, or if somebody
Again,
not that position,
because they
it is,
don't.
well, go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Paul.
No, go ahead. Finish. Go
I
ahead.
mean,
well, I,
it's. Oh, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
well, yeah, I was going to answer your question directly, Paul, because it's being reported. Someone, I don't know who, someone sent a letter to the NADC saying that Goins had not listed this, and which was kind of sparked this whole investigation. Like there was a tip to the NADC saying that Goins did not disclose his relationship to the cigar bar and the fact that they received some money in his statement of financial interest. And after being contacted by the Accountability Commission, Goins filed an amended report acknowledging his 51% ownership and stating that the lounge did pay $1,100 monthly lease payment to a company SUV that he drives. So that kind of
Who
opened up the
who made
Pandora's box.
who tipped? Who
You
did the
don't
tip?
you don't know who. It's up to the NADC to disclose. Like, I mean, look, I've had NADC reportings, and I've asked who sent this request in, or sent something in for a quote unquote ethical violation or something. Um, Normally only the person. I don't know. Normally they tell you, but they tell the person who did it. I think, because I've always known who's done it.
Mm-hmm.
From a political standpoint, we've known who's done it. I mean, but then sometimes we know who does it because they don't have much time on their hand, but to send these frivolous reports in, and then they investigate it, and then they come back with a finding. That's what happens.
All right. I just don't want us to be spending too much. I don't want us to make something more out of something than it needs to
Mm-hmm.
be, and distract us from everything else that's going on over that, especially when it comes to a black man in leadership and so on
I
and
Right,
was
so
just
right,
That's just what I was just
right.
about to say. That's just what I was about to say. We have, regardless of what, we have a duty to protect our Black leaders. We also have a duty to make sure that our Black leaders are doing the job that they're supposed to do
Held
ethically and right,
accountable. Right.
and
Man.
not do anything that's illegal. So far, I feel this is Precious speaking, Precious's opinions. I feel personally that there's attack on Black leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We've had um, Dr. Logan is leaving.
Yeah.
And again, I'm speaking. This is just my personal opinion. I've not spoken to any of these people. We have the superintendent from Grand Island who was pushed out.
Mm-hmm.
We have Ms. Vita Jeffries from the Omaha Chamber
Yep.
Just
who's
quit.
gone, who just quit. However they did, whatever they did.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have how they attack Senator Wayne, Senator McKinney
On a daily basis.
Yeah.
on a daily
Remember
basis.
the situation with the treasurer?
With John Ewing.
Yep.
Ewing,
Yep.
yep.
Yep. Yep.
Yep, they did the audit. I just feel like every time that we're going forward, they try to attack. And I say this because with me personally, I don't get a check from none of them. So I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm gonna keep on. I'm not in their circles, you know. I don't go to their events. I don't eat their hummus. I don't do and I mean that with all and I
Not the
mean that with
hummus.
all disrespect.
Not
Okay.
the
Right.
hummus.
Don't invite me. I won't come. I won't show up. I don't want to be in that circle.
Yeah.
And again, because I feel that once they see us progressing and moving forward, they try to attack,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to see us leading. And we have people. I mean, we have a governor. Let's get on ill and pillen.
Mm.
We have a governor who doesn't even release his schedule. He feels like he doesn't even have to tell people what he is doing.
Mm.
He doesn't release nothing. Now, I can say one thing about Picklehead Ricketts. At least he told he had a schedule that it was public. This one, this dude act like he don't tell us what he's doing, nothing. So if anybody needs to be investigating, let's break it down. Pillen got money too.
Mm.
Pillen got money for them damn hog farms.
Mm.
Oh man. Oh yeah.
He
Yeah.
got money too that he didn't have to pay back. So what's good for the
So
goose is good for the gander.
Yeah,
Again,
is it about getting the money, or is it about reporting? Is it about you did something shady about not reporting it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Look,
which thing is it about? Is it about getting the money when you have something to do with getting that money in?
I think it's more of that it wasn't reported and now they got to cover themselves. But it's funny how when people are with the good old boys and they cool with it, but then once they got to cover themselves, then they gonna throw you out to the wolves and throw you under the bus.
again, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. And I also have another angle on this, and we got another story on Pillen that we're going to get into here in a second about his education bill, which I would love to hear if you have some input on that, Precious. Moving a step forward. But as far as this whole Tony Goins situation, again, I pointed out earlier that the Department of Economic Development, again, the Senators Wayne and McKinney, I believe it's 531, is petitioning or they're trying to amend that those funds go through LB 1024 goes through the Department of Economic Development. So if there's some scrutiny, if there's some questions, if there's some things about their integrity, and how they spend the money, what money is coming through, there's extra scrutiny about what money is going through. And then if anybody who has a relationship with Tony Goins gets that money, are there going to be questions like that puts a whole new level of scrutiny on what happens with LB 1024.
Let me say there might be scrutiny, there might be questions, but again, I don't want it to be every time there's anybody who's black in charge, we gotta question integrity. We gotta go over and above to make sure that there's no corruption going on when there's corruption in every other place and department and everything everywhere. So
I mean, look at
yes, like Precious said, we gonna hold our leaders accountable, but we're also not gonna go overboard with the vilification every single time somebody suggests something or somebody puts a tip in on somebody or whatever. I just, just in general, like I said, I don't know too much. I don't know enough about the thing yet to speak on it, but I do know that right off the bat, I feel like, well, okay, you know how we do. We're gonna have them on and ask them directly if that's because that's showing love and giving somebody benefit of the doubt and
Mm-hmm.
giving them the respect of being able to have them say what they're gonna say about it instead of sitting around like is this department all corrupt? You know what I'm saying? Like
And I want to clarify that's not me saying that. That's not Buddi3 Da Gawd trying to vilify Brother Goins. Because I'm with you. I don't know enough about it, and I'm with everybody in the chat. Like we're all in agreement that it seems like our leadership is under attack, and I don't feel like he's doing anything different than Ricketts, Pillen, or any other of them are doing. But I am saying that this can be used by the others. This can be used by those who don't want us to get LB 1024. They trying to build the lake. This is yet another thing that's kind of against us getting 10 LB 1024 is what I'm saying.
speaking of the chat, let me jump in there real quick.
It's going crazy.
It's backed up a little bit. First of all, I'm gonna reiterate what Von Chapman was saying. Good morning. It may be legal, but is it ethical? It's not a good look for Goins in the DED. We'll see. He looked like he read into it a little bit more than I did quite at this point. So we'll see. Amy Hupper says, good morning, P. Love your glasses. Brianna Fool says, good morning, Precious. Mama God say, when you say baby, it reminds me of when my grandmother used to say child.
Man.
So much meaning in that one word. Yeah. I love it when you come on with that for sure. Rick Fulton says, I believe Megan Hunt when she says the legislative body is a lot more conservative than Nebraska in general. That's interesting. Amy Huffler says, Precious is a whole emoji. Brianna Full said, how do we hold black leadership accountable, but also make sure they're not unnecessarily villainized by the media? This is what, you're saying what we're saying. We outside show in the house, Big X.
Oh, gee.
He says, I posted that the other day, that one he's talking about where you can, the thing that I was talking about where you can look and see what these brothers are in, or what the politicians are
investing in.
Yeah, it's a whole story right there. If there's laws, if there's things coming up, they're about to, and you don't know which way it's going to go, look at where they're pulling their money out of or putting their money into, and it's important. He says you better watch where their politicians do with their money for real. Linda Layson says, right, whoopsie, forgot about that. Forgot about reporting. She's talking about. William King says there's a target on all black leadership, male and female. They're going after us one by one. So we feeling that we got the same feeling on that. Von Chapman says this can be equated to insider trading by some of these folks in charge of these programs. Yes, that's the phrase that people are using when they find that they feel like there's some kind of conflict of interest going on. If you're part of making a law that will bring some money into a situation that you will personally benefit from, you and your business will personally benefit from, it feels like an insider trading type of situation.
Definitely.
They use that phrase for that as well, especially like with the like when we're talking about where are you pulling your money in and out of. We Outside Show says, look up Fed now. It's going to take place if you cash app and payment apps. It's going to do what? Take the place of it. Look at Fed now. Yeah, give me some clarification on that. William King says the ED passed a $1 billion audit. The DED passed a $1 billion audit. Need some more information there too. Linda Lathan says, speaking of it looking like the same, I read that the mayor fired the trash company that used to clean up North Omaha a few years ago. That's why there's litter everywhere. Nebraska Examiner, is that true? Okay, that's an interesting rumor.
That's new as a neighborhood alliance. I ain't never heard of that one, but go ahead.
Okay. Amy Huffless in the chat says, not making it right, but he could have had someone else fill out that info and they could have not known or made a mistake. That's what I'm saying. Like, give him the benefit of the doubt. Let's find out what happened first.
That's what's being reported. His partners are saying that he had nothing to do with the application or, the actual ask for the funds. And also, again, I'm not sure the relationship. The bar itself did not get the money directly. Again, it was the organization that runs the bar. The Midwest Leaf is the name of the company. So I don't know LLC. His relation. Yep, Midwest Leaf LLC. I don't know his relationship to that company. Or again, there's some more questions, and I urge people to check out Brother Bill King's show when he bosses with Brother Goins.
There you go. He says 95.7 the boss has not participated in the narrative Conquer and Divide. Okay.
There you go.
Neither have we. Ariel's 402 says, not that anything is wrong with eating hummus. Precious just don't want to eat their hummus. That's
that
what
part.
she's
That
talking
part.
about. Brother King said he has three black dog department heads. The first in the history of Nebraska, a Republican. William King, we need to
Can you just
talk.
put them on your show, William?
Yeah, just come on the show. Come on the show one morning. We want to talk.
Come boss with us.
Von Chapman says failure to disclose in Goins' case appears to be intentional. Whether he be black or white, we need to stay vigilant or run the risk of falling into their traps. We can't do what they do. We can't do what they do. This is something that brother Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney say all the time about the legislature. That we can't do what they do. We have to have a different strategy because we're the minority, so we can't do what they do. We do something like shut the whole session down over some stuff. It'll be a different consequence than what's going on. So I hate that that's a thing, but it kind of is. We kind of have to remember, like, there's some of the things, we can't do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we got to, like this is the reason why I always am trying to like give black leaders the benefit of the doubt first, because like they under a certain kind of scrutiny that ain't nobody else under. They're under a certain kind of scrutiny where they did something. I don't even be going first about the wrong or right. I'm going first about, are they getting? Can they have some room to make a mistake? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't feel like people even like black leaders even get room to make a mistake.
No, usually not. Most times black leaders are like the first in that position, so they it's kind of a make or break situation. It's not just them on it's the whole race on their back. So no, we gotta yeah.
You know how many times I done been called on and threatened, and the Biden administration was called to fire me. I mean, you know how many times they've been called the Nebraska Democratic Party say fire her just because I speak my opinion on social media. You don't get up out of here. Look.
Anyway, so again, just in the spirit of what we're talking about right now, like I do not want this to be the main story, the main everything. We'll check out Brother King's show when Brother Goins is on there. If we have more questions, we can ask him on our show even.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I just got because I saw Williams' comments. He said that they can't build a lake. I just want to say that there's 49 senators in the legislature that no one has ever denied this lake. So we know this damn lake, these two lakes is trying to get built. No one they know what they're doing, and it's not creating a narrative. So if we're saying that the senators McKinney and Wayne are creating a narrative, then something's wrong, because ain't nobody denied these two lakes in the media or anywhere else. These lakes exist and they want that money to get it. So I mean, let's keep it 100, okay?
And a canal.
And several other projects.
Canal that connects to Colorado. That Colorado don't want nothing to do with it. Come on now, I don't have talking points from the Republican Party. I know we got 49 senators or 48, however many of them down here, trying to get that money, and we got two people who are trying to make sure that the money is allocated appropriately. Because look, let me stop.
Hey, Senator Wayne said it. Senator Wayne said $2 billion. The state is sitting on, and not a dime coming to North Omaha.
Yep. Yeah, let's move on from that. We have the senators on every Friday. Brother King and anybody else who have any questions, you can always come on and ask some questions there, or listen to what they got to say. I mean, I'm learning a lot about what ARPA funds can be used for and can't be used for, some of the strategies that they're working on to try to make sure that North Omaha gets that money. Yes, ma'am.
I got another fact check. Actually, it was not 300,000 people who voted to keep slavery, but I'll get the numbers for you because I was a part of that bill. I'll be right back with you.
She's gonna do a little fact checking on that. Yes, just the fact that we had the fact that there was lynching still there's all kinds of stuff in the Constitution that needed to be discarded, and just now got voted out for a bunch of different reasons. So I feel your point there, but so anyway, we will definitely keep on talking to the senators about what can happen with those things. But yes, I agree with Precious. From what I understand about the situation, it is not just a narrative. It's not just a story that people can remove those funds away from the ARPA, from what is going on with us, from us getting it. Other senators are petitioning for those funds to do their what they're calling their pet projects, and lake is one of them. A canal is one of them. Broadband is another one. Like you said, he said, I had to use it for broadband. Those funds could not be used for anything else because it came from the feds. Yeah, ARPA is a little different. There's a bunch of different ways that you can use that. And there's also that special broadband money that's coming in that they're debating on who should control as well. I'd like to get your feedback on that, as a matter of fact, if we can talk about it, because you've been in that world. But yeah, a bunch of broadband money coming in, and they're debating right now who should be able to control that, and that means, who controls it means where it's going to go in the state, where it's going to go. So lots of questions there for sure. And we appreciate everybody who's jumping into the chat asking questions. Linda Lathan, maybe we can get Precious to take a look at your comments and talk to you directly about some of the things. She's been heavily involved in the neighborhood, in the trash cleanup and everything else that's going on there, so you guys can talk possibly on that. Miss Erica Felt in the chat real quick says, in the legislative study group, it was suggested to write the only Democratic senator who voted for that anti-trans bill, but then others said no, to write the Democratic Party to censor him.
No,
We're going to talk about the legislative study group, I think. Huh?
but can I just say something right there? A censorship is just a piece of paper. A censorship cannot stop him and cannot make any type of changes. So if y'all want to flood the Democratic Party, you're more than welcome to do that. But again, if the state central committee has to then approve a censorship. We've released a statement on that we do not support what McDonald is doing. We are committed to the trans community. He is not following our platform. It is up to the voters who decide he is in office to then elect him or do not elect him to office. A censorship will not do anything. If you can look and see what Ben Sass got censored by the party, that did not, just use him as a prime example. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just basically saying you're wrong. It doesn't change his vote. It doesn't change anything. And so at this point, I just want people to understand, like, we see it. We're not the ones supporting McDonald. I shouldn't say that. We're not in agreement with him. Our platform stands the way it stands, and we support trans community. We support the trans community of everything's going on. One person decided that they wanted to vote the way, and I can't tell him how to vote according to how he wants to vote, according to his values or whatever he believes in. It is now up to the voters to decide if he runs for any other office, if you want him in that space. Yeah. That's how you push back. But a censorship is not going to really hold any weight. But I take all suggestions, and then
Yeah. That's why it's so important, the vote in the first place, to get to know the candidate in the first place and know what they about to do, and then hold them accountable when they go and get in there and try to change up. But really, like Precious is saying, the only power that happens there happens in the vote in the first place, getting them in. Also, Rick Fulton says maybe we should be asking Anthony Goins of DED what happens to North and South Omaha's ARPA money. Hopefully, Auditor Foley will look into it. Yeah, this I think it's a good suggestion. We definitely need to go.
That's a very good suggestion.
Appreciate that very much. It is coming up on 8:00 right now. Coming up on the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, all of you chat chimers, ghost listeners, and of course, Precious McKesson. We've been politicking with P. Thank you for all your comments and questions. And since it's getting ready to come up on 8:00 here, we do have another special guest sitting in the wings. We're going to see what's good in the hood with Miss Kimara Snipes. Good morning to you, Miss Snipes. How are you this morning?
I am pretty good. How y'all doing?
All right.
Not too bad. Hanging in there on a Wednesday. I will say that I'm very, very happy to be speaking to y'all again. I apologize for missing y'all last week, and I really felt the void. I was like, man, we ain't talking to the sisters. The insights and things, like we were missing y'all last week. So we're glad that you're here for sure.
Feel the absence indeed.
Looking good. Where you go? You all dressed up? Or you going?
I'm getting ready to go to Lincoln.
Okay.
And since there's an event tonight for the state party, I forget what the name of it is. But there's an event tonight. Paul, I reached out to you about it actually.
I don't eat the hummus either. No, I'm just playing.
And so I'm like, well, I can't come back home, so I might as well just kind of halfway get dressed now. I got my tennis shoes on though.
Okay,
Well,
hey, hey.
I appreciate the invite. I would do wish I could go. I got to work tonight, but yeah, definitely represent. Were you able to get Miss Richardson?
Yeah, I invited Whitney. Yeah,
Nice.
so she
Nice,
said
nice.
she should be able to make it.
I love that. I love that. Represent. Don't eat
Yeah.
the hummus though. Don't eat the hummus. I'm still
What's up with
trying to
the
get.
hummus?
Precious said something about not eating a hummus.
I'm
No,
gonna take her word for it.
There you go.
not literally.
Oh,
She just said don't invite me to your little parties. I'm not gonna be there eating your hummus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
but what else is going down in Lincoln? So are you going to the speak on the bill or
No, I'm just gonna go and work from there since I had to be
okay.
down there this evening anyway. I've
Okay.
been more so paying attention to what's going on in Grand Island with their library. I don't know if y'all
Ooh.
heard about this.
No, what
No,
happened?
no. Please do
So one of
tell.
my organizers is placed in Grand Island, and basically, the Grand Island Public Library has put a sub police station in the library, which happens to be 1 block away from the homeless shelter. Um,
Hmm.
and so we're trying to think about ways to organize around this because they're saying that citizens of Grand Island like don't feel safe taking their children to the library, but there's not really a lot that's coming out when they're questioning about it. So we're just kind of strategizing around that. She's been going to some of the library meetings. The YWCA of Grand Island is getting involved with that and trying to meet with the library board chair and director to kind of discuss concerns and things like that. So I'm like, wow. So let's build a sub police station. But it kind of made me think about the downtown library that I was working at. And on Wednesdays, the people would come to feed homeless people outside, and for some reason, the branch manager always like increased the amount of police that would be at the library on that
For
particular
some
day.
reason.
So just the labeling of like homeless people and criminalizing them and all of that stuff, and they're not even really doing anything from what I'm hearing from my organizer in Grand Island. But
Hmm.
yeah, this state is definitely Nebraska nice, ain't it?
Man, like the same money they used to build that they could have anyway.
That's what they're saying. You could have put money in the budget for programming at the library and
Right.
things like that. So I think one of the things they're talking about, well, if you're going to do that, well, why not have space in there for nonprofits and other people to come in who actually help
What
people and
right.
want to be of service and not penalize people, especially homeless people. I have a real issue with the way like homelessness is like punitive here.
Right.
And it really bothers me when Sona was getting the city created this homelessness task force and the city has now hired someone. And our biggest thing that Sona's input was that, we just want you to not make it punitive. Why do people
Hmm.
have to go to jail because they're homeless? But anyway.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the part for the course for the state. To me, everything is punitive. Every move they make is a punitive kind of situation. I'm on the library steering committee for the ideas that are going on here for these libraries here, mixing them up with due spaces and everything else. And I can say that having a police substation has not been suggested for any of our libraries
Thank
here.
you, Paul.
But I will say that the state is building a new prison. They already know that they're gonna have to fill it, and probably will have to build another prison that's already been reported. And the state can't make money off you if you're on the street. So
I think
follow
I
the
remember
money.
telling y'all almost every place I've been in Nebraska, they've been building some sort of jail or prison. And it was very interesting to me because, I go in there with the thought process that I have here in Omaha and where I'm going to be surrounded by a bunch of people that are going to be against this. And then you go into these spaces in like South Sioux City and these other places, and these people who are running for office are for it. And they're bragging about it. And they're saying this is going to bring so much money to our community and this and that. And so, and it's not just in Nebraska, it's in other states as well. So this is by design. It's just,
It's a lot. Precious, do you have did you look up your facts and figures that you was gonna
No, I
lay out?
can't. No, I can't. I gotta get a bigger. I can't see it, but I think it ain't 300,000. It might be 280, but 600,000 voted for it to be released, for it to not be in the thing.
And
There you
again,
go.
remind people what we're talking about. We talking about
Oh, William said about the slavery thing,
oh right, okay,
about
yes, it's
slavery. I mean,
in the
but again, you
Constitution.
have to look at the language. But again, 280,000 people wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
When to
Six
keep the
hundred
language
thousand wanted it gone, and it was
right,
gone.
and
Which
it's
is
There
so
gone.
you
sad
go.
that it was even in our in our constitution.
Constitution.
But I take that one, that was very personal to me because I was in the senator's office when that came up, as well as when we came up with the African American Commission, when we found out that there was an African American commission that had never been appointed by the governor, but they had the Native American Commission and the Native American and the Latino Commission, but we never had an African American Commission. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I stand correct. It wasn't 300, but it was 280. So, but still,
Close. You can round up.
Round it up. That's it.
Round it.
Go
They do
around.
it. It's cool when they do it. No, I'm sorry.
Now, see, I told you. See, I told you.
We can't do what they do. Like Von
Man,
okay, I want to switch gears real quick because we are going to have to say something about Trump and this big news of the indictment. And we ain't even got to get official on it. What y'all feel when you look Precious smiling already? Go ahead, Precious. You go first.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to be indicted on 34 charges and don't have to take a mugshot and get handcuffed.
Thank you.
Privilege.
Can basically call in and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be in there in between 10 and 4 on Friday. Just
and
come in when you want.
The fact that he's being compared by that Marjorie Taylor Greene, baby, I want to see her in the streets. But man, she compared that man to Nelson Mandela.
yeah.
I mean, but
Jesus.
Jesus.
Somebody the other day they was talking about he's in the same realm of Tupac and
Biggie. Like this man. I mean, but I just want to say this because criminal. I'm about to say this. Shout out to the organizers in North Carolina. I mean, in New York, because what they did when she came. They came with those whistles and those pots and pans, and they drowned out her speech to where she had to leave. So let me tell you, that is, I never even thought about that. I never even thought, bring a whistle. Baby, I'm about to go get me some whistles.
Oh, hold on. Let me blow your mind. Let me blow your mind further on that. It was a Republican group that brought them whistles. They was drowning their own people out.
What?
The Democrats brought the pots and pans and all the other stuff, but it was a whistle. It was an organization, a Republican organization that brought them whistles.
And some of them worked for the mayor's office. Cause I follow one of the activists, but I feel that the whole thing he's capitalizing off of this.
Oh yeah,
he's making money now. He has these T-shirts with this fake mug shot. So now these fools gonna be walking around with a fake mug shot T-shirt. But the best one I saw was the MAGA, and they said my ass got arrested.
He gonna have one of them hood T-shirts on with him in the middle and Jesus on the side and Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, so
airbrushed.
So the whole thing, I can't wait to read the indictment because they said it was some other stuff in there. But yesterday, you know, as people don't know, yesterday we had a Lincoln election. Our primary was here in Lincoln, so that's why I'm still here. And then tonight we have an event here, but that was my main focus yesterday. So I just want to say shout out to Lincoln because last night y'all showed that you can buy up all the billboards in the city of Lincoln. That's what Susie Dice did. She bought up all the billboards in Lincoln, and she still didn't come close to the mayor. So we have a runoff now. We now have the general in May, and so yeah, so that's what we own in here. But I'm not Trump. That whole thing, they just invested so much into it. It's like, I mean, it's just it's a lot. It's a lot, and I feel like now they're targeting this judge's kids. Yay, like it's really grimy, and hopefully no one gets hurt in this. But they really need it's really sad what's going on. Not for him, but what the people are now trying to do to the people who are trying to uphold the law.
I was going to ask about that as far as how you think his base will respond.
Well, we are.
But they're crazy anyway. So
they've been crazy. They've been responding badly. January 6th.
Yeah.
So I definitely, I was just, when it was coming up, I was definitely calling around. All right, just making sure y'all. I know where everybody at. Y'all stay home today. And you don't know what kind of wild is getting ready to happen because of this man getting arrested around here. So that's the only thing that I really kind of thought about it. We'll see what happens. He's been indicted. We'll see if he goes to jail. I doubt it. Well, you know what I'm saying. We'll see what's happening.
Yeah. He might be making his way down here to Georgia as well. There's some
I
more
know,
investigations.
Well, one of the things I want to say too is that they're trying. Some of the people are out here trying to act like this, that he's this martyr that's going now he's guaranteed to be elected now because everybody's going to come out and blah blah blah. That didn't happen when he got impeached. That when they were talking impeachment talks back in the day, that Biden still got elected. That he doesn't get no guarantees just because they're quote unquote persecuting him now, and now his base is going to chime up. So don't fall for that narrative at all. The Democrats have sealed their own coffin with this one. Now he's for sure going to be president and all that mess. Wishful thinking.
I'm not even thinking about those narratives. I'm just laughing about Boosie. Little Boosie said,
Oh God, what Boosie say?
"Yeah, no, I love me some Boosie badass now."
Boosie.
I love me some Boosie. But Lil Boosie said, he said, "I want to know what paperwork his attorneys was filing that he didn't have to take no mug shot.
Man,
no finger
man.
And so really, doesn't that really just, I mean, I know it's all funny and everything, but really we're talking about privilege, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially like in the criminal justice system, right? And how unfair that is. I mean, it's funny, but on the surface, but really when you really start digging deep down, like this is happening everywhere. That money, you know, and all that privilege, and it really pisses me off, to be very honest, to just be very honest. And I'm just so tired of Trump I could scream. But anyway.
And he could have done this by Zoom, from what I read.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to even.
He showed up so he can show up for his base.
For the cameras.
Right, for the cameras. So he can have that camera time.
Genius,
But that, I mean, that just says a lot. Like who can do a Zoom arraignment over Zoom? Who does that?
Right.
Who's able?
So you think about the different pieces of the criminal justice system and everyone involved. Somebody's responsible for that. Somebody made that decision. Who was that person that decided that can happen? That's what we need to be talking about, and then figuring out who they are and how to get them out of there.
Yeah. No
Kimara, say
no
it again what you just said in the criminal justice thing again.
Oh God, I don't remember.
No, because when she says it, I think of Law and Order. As soon as Kimara says it, I think of Law and Order, the voice over of the TV show.
The criminal justice system. Yeah. I appreciate you guys' comments on it. It's definitely something I didn't want to go in on too far. The Hood Table's in the chat. Good morning to you. Said good morning, everyone. And hey, Precious, loving the hair color.
Hey.
That's what's up. Amy Huffley says, I'm happy with the crumb that they didn't hold the door open for. A little crumb we got. Amy H. Dot in the house. Ariel 402 says, I blame January 6th on all those coward-ass cops that allowed themselves to be overrun. 1,000 rounds of MAM and only one sit-down range.
Ammunition, I guess.
Yeah, man. Well, look, there's a whole bunch of blame when it comes to that January 6th situation, but I look at it as an example of what if they can do that to the Capitol, then if they want to start chiming up around here, they will. Especially over this situation, which is only reason why I want to bring it up and mention it, because it is major news. It's a historical thing that just happened. I definitely wanted to talk a little bit about the manner of arrest that is very unfair that is very privileged that happened, but also what his base and what the militia groups and what all these people around here might be doing over him getting arrested. And unfortunately, we got to kind of keep our eye on that. And unfortunately, we got to call our loved ones and say, "Where you at? Where you at? What's happening? Stay in the house." We don't know we don't know how they getting ready to act. There's people lining up downtown, protesting. What are their protesters going to act like? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the level of delusion is kind of crazy. Like, it's people still acting like he's president.
Yeah. For sure. So moving on from that, though. 8:15 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, Precious. Before we let you get going on your date, what is there something that is on your top of mind that we need to be paying attention to?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess not. I guess not.
You ain't gonna eat your hummus. Y'all can have your hummus. Bye.
There he is. Oh Oh gosh.
Well, let's go with you. Let's go with you, Kimber. Before I think
Deuces.
she's trying to reset, but
Yeah.
here she comes. She's coming back in already. Oh wait, she's getting it set up. Kimber, go ahead and give us your thoughts. Your thoughts on that.
What's good
You
in
know,
the
to be
evening?
Hey,
honest with you, yesterday I was trying to here go Precious. No, but yesterday I was trying to find like some news that I could listen to that would be like as non-biased as possible. So I like went to the BBC. You know what I'm saying? I went there to
Hmm.
try to listen to see what other people were saying about it.
I don't
And
trust their hummus either.
huh?
I don't trust their hummus either.
I don't either after listening yesterday. That's what everybody else I was like, well, I don't know what's going on, but the privilege thing sticks out to me. I think that I don't have any faith that anything's really going to happen, and I just know this is going to be a super slow process anyway. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Whatever is going to happen is going to be extremely politicized, and it's just really makes me nervous because Trump is really good at like just riling people up, and as much as it may put me in disbelief, it's still a reality that it happens.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
2020 election, I mean, those numbers were just kind of frightening to me. It just makes me very nervous for just about like the future of things as far as presidency goes.
Yeah.
And so I think that everything that happens, he finds a way to like get some benefit from it when it comes to his base. And
Hmm.
so, man, I got to figure out that formula, right? Let's figure out that formula and apply it to our own people because it's crazy. But what one thing I was thinking about when you were talking about the people who showed up with the pots and the pans and the whistles, I was wondering, buddy, I don't know if y'all ever had a chance to check out that political topology quiz or whatever, but I was
Mm.
wondering where those people fall on the spectrum of that list. I was like,
Remember
I
that
wonder
quiz?
what type of Republicans they are because there is something to that. You know what I'm saying? I really encourage you to take that quiz because this shows you how people are, and it's not just as black and white as Republican and Democrat,
Right.
Yeah.
right? And to me, there's something to that because if you can look at that and research that and understand that, you can also understand how to approach people, right? And one thing we know about organizing is that one-on-one conversations can change anything. And if we have a bunch of those and are saying the right things, possibly we can shift some people. So that's the reason why I really look at that.
I like
There
that.
you go.
You got that link. Can you put that back in the chat? You can put it in the chat for
I'll
us.
find it.
Okay. I appreciate your words on that, Precious. I know you look like you're having a little internet trouble over there in the room. So, but you're here. So, just wanted to say before you get on about your day, is there anything that we need to be looking at that's top of your mind that we need to support or pay attention to?
No, not really. I don't know right now. I don't know. Nothing really important. Like I shouldn't say important, like that's pressing. Um, I am going to get my day started because we have our big fundraiser here tonight
Hmm.
in Lincoln, one of our first fundraiser of the year. So I need to get myself together because again, this has been a long planning process. So I'm gonna head over to the other hotel so I can start getting that together for the day. But I just want to just tell people, like continue to continue to do your due diligence in reading what's going on. There we have some good media outlets that are really doing some good research and just making sure that when we talked earlier, like we have to protect each other. Kimmer, I'll text you. We have to protect each other at all costs, but also make sure that we are you know, we are standing by each other and holding each other accountable.
Hmm.
And a lot of comments that were made in there, we got this. It's sad that we have to go the extra mile to make sure that we aren't, we have to go the extra mile. We got to do extra to
Yeah.
protect ourselves. So
Yeah.
making sure that we're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. But again, protect each other. We should be protecting each other in a way and holding each other accountable, not protecting each other to um to protect us if we do something that's wrong, but basically protecting us to say, hey, holding each other accountable. Hey, we got to do this, we got to do that. Because again, I do feel that our black leadership is under attack, and I feel like they might, some people might feel that they've given us a little bit too much rain. Now they're trying to reel us back in.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
so we definitely need to be looking out for one another, and instead of crapping on each other, like supporting each other. If you hear someone talking negative about somebody, be like, hey, you know what? Let me tell you the positive things that this person is doing, because sometimes people feed off of everybody else's negative energy and they're not getting the right information. They're basing their feelings off of how someone else feels about somebody until they get to know somebody. And I say that because me and Kimra had a crying session a couple of weeks ago. I know she's gonna get mad if I say it. We had a crying session at the coffee shop, just the way that we know the work that we're doing and how we're connecting. And so I feel I'm just blessed to be in the same space with Kimra and being able to learn off of the things that she's doing. And the passion that she has is like we have the same passion, we have the same goals and stuff. So I just say, today, if there's anyone that you have had some disagreements with, or you don't feel like maybe y'all are connecting, take time to connect with that person, because you'll never know that the similarities that you have and the power that y'all both have together when y'all work together. So
Teamwork
that's
makes
what
a
I'll
dream
leave with.
work.
That's right.
Teamwork makes a dream work.
Yeah.
Love
There
that.
you go.
Thank you, Precious. I appreciate those words. We'll let you get on about your day. Linda Latham in the chat says, "Man, wait till you come to Lincoln today. All these little boys in these big old trucks flying their Trump flags. That tells
Oh,
me to let you know,
Jesus.
be careful out there. You out
Yep.
there in it right now. So please be careful."
Yeah.
Read my mind, especially having a Democratic event tonight. Be careful.
Yeah.
Look here, they don't want nothing. Don't pull up.
Do I have to bring something with me?
You don't
No,
have to. I got
no.
park the motorcycle in the lobby and so you can get
Get in and get out.
look. And like my old grandpappy used to say, don't sit with your back to the door tonight.
I never do,
That's right.
actually.
Never do.
That's
There you
right.
go.
No, we'll
There
be
you
in
go.
good company. We are celebrating our senators. The work that they're doing, the hard work they're doing. And so it's going to be a nice event. I am excited because all y'all know how I am. Y'all know I bring all blackness.
There you
So
go.
we got Philip Hodges with the 360 camera. We have Huskerland popcorn. It's gonna
Yeah.
be a nice event. We
So,
got some specialty drinks. So just basically just having a really just a heavy happy hour just to talk to our senators and different people who support them and stuff. And then yeah, we'll go from there. So
Okay.
come back with a black agenda,
There you
please.
go. Real quick, can we
Yeah.
get all our senators on the same page? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm out. She's like, I'm tired of y'all hummus.
Yeah.
Ah,
that timing was some impeccable timing
perfect.
right there.
That was
Yeah,
really good.
that was
Really
perfect.
good.
The face, the everything.
Her computer.
Okay, yeah, it died. All right, all right.
Universe.
She said, "Look at God."
Y'all too much.
Oh my
Miss
gosh.
Erica Phil says, I appreciate you ladies and the insight and food for thought you've shared. Thank you. I feel the same way for sure. So thank you very much for that. And you went ahead and put that peer research, political typology link in the chat there. I definitely suggest you guys do that. Fill that out too, and find out where you are on the spectrum.
And read about the other groups too, not just yours.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Love that. So we're gonna move on from that. Congratulations to everybody who is here because you are able to listen to the ladies and gain some knowledge and get some vibe and all the good stuff. So we appreciate you with all your comments and questions for the ladies. Before we let you go, let's go ahead and ask the question that we brought you on here to ask in the first place. We laugh because we start these segments out and then they turn into something else. But we can go back to the what's good in the hood part of your segment this time, and let us know what's happening. So give us some good news about the neighborhoods right now.
Good news about the neighborhoods right now. Well, let's see. SONA meeting this Thursday.
Hey,
There's a South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance meeting this Thursday. We meet every first Thursday of the month at the Omaha Croc Center, which is located pretty much on 30th and Y in South Omaha. We meet at 6:30 p.m. We are really just planning for our banquet. I'm very excited about that. Again, all the money that we raise as an alliance, and by the way, we are a 501c3. It is all volunteer led. Like this ain't anything that we get paid for. And so right now we are working on our banquet. All the money that we raise, we directly reinvest back into South Omaha through our mini grant program. And that is for neighborhood associations. Our community organizations that join SONA can apply for funding that they use. They've done things like community gardens in their neighborhoods, or created pamphlets or flyers or things like that. We also give away a couple of scholarships to Metropolitan Community College. Typically in the past, it has been to students who attend high schools in South Omaha, but I'm having a talk with my leadership team about opening that up, because you have students who live in South Omaha who don't go to school in South Omaha, and we also want to change it to where instead of just, which is cool to just give out scholarships, right? But let's augment that a little bit and have a little bit of expectation, like come and join your neighborhood association and be active in it. So just really kind of doing that, going through our strategic plan. Again, that strategic plan is our roadmap. And neighborhood associations, as far as I'm concerned, are the real power of the city. And when I talk about power, I'm talking about the ability to influence people, which are also elected officials, to do the right thing. And so to me, that's the avenue that I want to go through. North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance and South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance are both members of the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table. Within our Civic Engagement Fund, we also have a community connectedness sort of mini grant that we're able to do. And so Precious and I are having conversations about how we can organize with that to do some outreach in neighborhoods, because COVID did a number on neighborhood associations. I'm so proud of and the way we were able to navigate that because of Zoom and things like that, but it still did a number. So just really trying to get that back going. And I'm also getting excited for May when I go down to the Neighborhoods USA conference, where I'll be presenting on how to organize neighborhoods for change and sustainability. So
cool. Okay. So like some good stuff. We highly encourage everybody to be involved in your neighborhood association. To me, that's where it all starts.
Yep.
And I'm glad that we have Kimara on that is a representative of that idea, because that's where it starts. We always talking about action. The action can start with organizing in the neighborhoods first, and then you expand to the neighborhoods, to the region or the side of town, and before you know it, you got enough numbers of people to go over and make some real change in the legislature and voting and every other part of that, and not just the political process too, but also just assisting in the neighborhoods, like the scholarships and things that you guys are giving out to people.
The neighborhood cleanup, right? We're getting ready for that in South and North Omaha, and that's a wonderful thing. I mean, you can literally go and get rid of stuff for free that any other time of the year you have to pay to get rid of that stuff. So
yeah, actually, do you have more details on that? Ariel's 402 in the chat says any spring cleanup. So we do.
You know what? I will go and get the link. The thing with kind of elevating is you also kind of remove yourself from the little smaller things of having to get the dates and things like that.
The grunt work.
Else. But the city of Omaha, I know that they probably have it on their website. And what I'll do is I'll go get the information, and then I will post it into the Friends of First Sky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have a quick pivot real quick, and I definitely want to get your take on this story that we have teed up about Mayor Stothert.
You can also follow the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance and the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance websites too.
There you go. But I want to jump into some diversity and some things that Mayor Stothert is or isn't doing, as far as again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you have some input on this, but Mayor Stothert is being called out for her lack of diversity. Again, she put out the pledge during 2020 in the wake of George Floyd and the whole situation for more diverse representation on city boards and commissions. And now, just as you've asked questions about what's going on with the city and not getting answers, it looks like Councilwoman Juanita Johnson going through the same situation, as reported by Omaha World Herald. She's asking about the diversity on these boards and commissions and isn't getting any answers as well. Do you know anything about Mayor Stothert's pledge, any diversity on these boards, or any of that?
I mean, I don't know about that story, but I've raised these issues in the past. Other people have raised these issues in the past. I've said it numerous times. It sounds funny, but she's a gangster. She does what she want to do. Period. She's going to put whoever she wants to on these boards, and it's not done with strategy. And I know this because I tried to get onto the Metro Transit board, right? I ride the bus. I'm on the board for mode shift. You know what I'm saying? But because of her personal feelings, she'll put somebody else on. And So what do you do about that? Ultimately, you vote her out. But even before that, people can come together and say something. It can't be one person. It has to be a lot of people. And I mean a lot of people.
Apparently, a lot of people are chiming up here because I've people have called me and said that she's not too happy about that article. She's not too happy about what people are saying about that.
I bet she is.
Anytime I hear them chime up about what they like and don't like, that means that there's more than one person saying it. So maybe this maybe putting that kind of pressure on it will change some things as far as that stuff's concerned. But it reminded me that there's a lot of boards out there that she's been responsible for putting together, and it makes me wonder what decisions. Why
I
was
wonder
she
where her DEI person is, Mr. Station. She hired somebody for that key station. That is his role, right? As well, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
We had him on the show.
I mean, let's have a conversation with a few people. And why is Juanita Johnson the only person who's even raising the issue? Right? Where's Danny Begley? Where's Pete Festerson? Where's Vinny Palermo, who are supposed to be quote unquote on her side?
Vinny busy. They be at his house all the time.
And this is Kimara speaking for Kimara, not the South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance or anyone else. I don't care. I am so sick and tired of excuses. Whatever you did or have not done or whatever has nothing to do with these neighborhoods. You are in a position where you are representing people, so you have to show up. But that's on the people too for not getting in their ass about it. I've emailed him several times and told him how I felt. Like, look, bro, if you're not showing up to these meetings, I'm about to out you. So I guess I got to do it again because he hasn't been showing up again. I know he has stuff going on, but we all got stuff going on. Mm-hmm. All of us. I'm so tired of excuses.
And if you got too much going on, maybe you should step down.
Maybe.
There it is. Appreciate your input on that. We're gonna go through that story and keep talking about it. I think it's important to kind of keep our eye on why these boards exist. Who's she appointing on them? Who's she not appointing on them?
Look what happens with these mayor-appointed boards. Look at the library board in Grand Island, also mayor-appointed. You put in the police substation. I mean, these people make real decisions that affect people, and this is why we vote.
There you go.
Love
that. Thank you for joining us today. Please be safe out there in Lincoln. Like we told Precious, like we're saying, we just got to kind of look around. We keep our head on the pivot these days here, even just in a real physical way. So, good. One good thing about growing up in the hood sometimes is that you learn how to keep your head on the pivot. And I take things away from my coming up that are still with me to this day about my spidey senses be tingling. I'd be like, okay, what's going on over here? Let me get it. So, we know when it's time to go. We know when you know what I'm saying. Like we can help y'all out with that. So listen to black folks when they say there's trouble afoot and it's time to go.
Color purple with the piano. Time to go.
You have a good one and represent for us down there. We really appreciate you coming on today, and we can't wait to talk to you again next week.
See y'all later.
Peace. There it is, Women's Wednesday. The ladies in the house, man. Precious McKesson, Kimara Snipes, put some respect on their names. Thank you, everybody, for your comments and your questions and the good conversation that we're having with them. And we get a lot of insights from them on a lot of different subjects. So really appreciate you guys doing that. And we'll take a quick break and we'll come right back and jump into some more issues and things that we want to talk about and get your opinions on. And, of course, we're going to have a little bit of a haps today as well on Wednesday too, so stay tuned for that. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Chat Chimers, Ghost listeners, all of you. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd is taking a little break real quick. He'll be right back. But in the meantime, between time, just want to thank everybody again for coming on to the show. All the chat chimers, all who we call our co-hosts, helping us enhance this conversation. Precious in the chat is giving us some dates on that spring cleanup that you guys were asking about. She says April 22nd is spring cleanup at Skinner, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And Shred Day is 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. hosted by Urban League Young Professionals, same location. So Skinner from 9 to 2, and then from 10 to 12, the Shred is happening. So if you got anything that you need to throw away, you want to help volunteer, definitely hit her up. You can hit Precious up on Facebook anytime on the Precious McKesson or Politicin with P page, and let her know that you want to come down or just show up. April 22nd, spring cleanup's going down. So appreciate that very much. She's also saying she posted that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. So there you go. If you're on Facebook, then if you're on YouTube, then she's over on Facebook, putting that in Friends of First Sky Omaha. And this is where Precious is speaking from right now. So thank you, everybody who is on Facebook and YouTube. Share the show for anybody who is who you feel like would benefit from us joining the conversation. That'd be great. Love to tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you miss any parts of the show, you can always go back to these shows on Facebook and YouTube and watch them in their entirety. And when you do, I really suggest that you look at the chat as well, because that's where a lot of this conversation is going on. Precious was saying the mayor is very, very petty, holds grudges. Me too, she said. So that's what's up. Ariel's 402 is asking, there is a new director of Pardons Board. I'm not sure about that. We'll look into it. But yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to find out for sure, with everything that we know about what's going on with the Pardons Board and some of the legislation that Brother McKinney, put some respect on his name, was after him and Brother Wayne, really. So yeah, we'll take a look at that and pay attention to it. Really appreciate that. Leia Keister says, I got to do the work thing. Thanks for another great show. Yeah, I appreciate you checking us out before you get to work. Thank you. It's always nice to start the day with the fam. So thank you very much. When we were starting the show off, it was interesting because we started the show off today. We talked a lot about music, the Napa Valley event that's coming up here with Blue Note Jazz Festival, and everybody who is in what we consider the forefront of music right now is feels like it's going to be at this show. And I'm happy that we started it off, even though we have to talk about situations like Trump. We got to talk about local politics. We got to talk about all the things that are that sometimes can feel like they're overwhelming or feel like this is just a subject you don't want to talk about all the time. And why do we even got to why do we even got to say Trump? Sometimes that's how I've been feeling sometimes doing the broadcast and doing the morning show before that. But we do got to discuss these things because they are pretty important. But we can't forget about the things like the music and art and all the things that we're into that we feel sometimes get threatened by us having our lifestyle change in certain ways. So we appreciate everybody that sticks with us through those things as well. Like I said, we'll have an extensive HAPS where we'll talk about it, but we're going to talk about what's coming up with our trip as well, with this Napa Valley trip, and also talk about what happened when the first Napa Valley trip that we went to last year, and the connections that we made there and the reasons why we ran into Gabrielle Union. And her husband there, what I'm saying? So we had a lot of good conversations that we haven't really gotten into and talked about yet, all for us to be able to, put Omaha on the map in some certain circles and areas, and also make connections to bring some of these people back. So we've been working on getting Robert Glasper actually to come back to Omaha and rock with us to do some shows and have some different things to see here besides what everybody. What this town is known for as far as that's musically is concerned. Miss Erica Felt is saying, have a great day. She says, just announced Parliament Funkadelic George Clinton with special guest George Porter Jr. takes over Steelhouse Omaha on September 17th. So they're beating us to the punch already. George Clinton Funkadelic is coming to Steelhouse. Thank you so much for that news. Pre-sale tickets are available this Wednesday at 10 a.m. Boy, I'm about to get my tickets for this for real. Because like we were saying, I think that this is going to be George Clinton's last hoorah, last go around as far as touring is concerned. So, buddy, did you see that?
Man, Yeah,
Just
yeah, I saw that. That's huge. That's huge
I
coming to
told you,
Steelhouse.
Steelhouse is going down. I told you.
Yeah, man, we were looking at Steelhouse actually. It looks like they're gonna be doing some big things, man. It looks like a great, great venue. I don't know, have they been doing shows? It's open. It's open
Yeah,
already.
yeah, they've been doing stuff already.
Okay, okay.
And I don't think there's been well, I ain't gonna get into that, but uh,
Uh,
yeah, but like they on the right track, bro. Like
yeah, yeah,
like they on the right track. We I was just telling people about the one of the reasons why we are there at Napa, like making these connections and bringing some of these artists back, like a George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic show. Well, they already beat us to the
man,
punch on that.
definitely,
So that's what's up. That's what's up, though. I'm happy to see it. She said I last saw him in San Francisco '89. Wow. Let me
man.
tell you, last time I saw him was in Omaha, Nebraska in 2014, and there was 8 people in the audience,
What,
and 4 of them was family of mine.
man? They came
So
with you. You brought half the crowd,
it was it was a weird situation. It was on some kind of outside 2-day event that Omaha held, and it was just weird. And there was like 3 other stages in the same area. Some pop punk stuff happening on the other side, where a bunch of people was over there. So it was just like it was set up wrong. It was messed up, and it was just like, why is this major star, legendary status? And I kept, those are the things that I keep going. See, that's some Omaha, that's some Omaha mess right there. How George Clinton gonna be in town and 8 people in the audience?
man.
Yes, Miss Erica Feld, I'm definitely gonna hit that for sure, for sure. Appreciate you very much for bringing that to our attention. Linda Lathan in the chat says, so I'm from a super small town in Wisconsin, and there's a mile long portion, sometimes more, where certain agencies would be responsible for cleanup, and then would place a sign that said something like, "The next 5 miles cleanup is sponsored by so and so." Yeah, we have that in California too.
Yeah, here too.
Yeah.
Adopt a street.
In Atlanta too. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
She says it's a good way to advertise and to keep our cities clean. Along with Sorensen looks terrible. Also vacant lots, etc., all over North Omaha along fences. There's like mountains of trash blowing everywhere. I'm willing to help sponsor, organize something like that, but I'm curious if something is already in place. I don't want to step on your toes or upset anyone. It's going to take a lot of manpower, but our children deserve a clean place to live. Yeah, definitely agree with that. I mean, any efforts I'm sure will absolutely help. And I would suggest get with the ladies first. The neighborhood associations, Precious with Noma and Kimmer with Soma. So South
Mm-hmm.
Omaha Neighborhood Alliance and North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance, get with them because I think they do a lot of that kind of organizing. And then they also and they're also connected to local politics, so they can figure out how to implement or talk to maybe somebody who can adopt a bill to do that kind of adopt a street or adopt a highway
Mm-hmm.
legislature or something like that. Yeah, if we don't have it here, that's funny. I haven't paid attention to that. We have it in California,
Yeah, it's
and
something kind of take for granted, but yeah, I mean, it definitely makes an impact.
I feel like I saw it here, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to First Sky adopting the street if that's something y'all
That'd be
would.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe the chat chimers so we can all go out and clean
yeah,
up
man.
a street
Shout out
together.
to Mayor Sanchez is always on the forefront of all that kind of stuff. So we're
Yeah,
great
man.
being here representing First Sky Omaha out there, man. So that's another person to get with too. Ariel's 402. Get with Mayor Sanchez because he has his finger on the pulse on a lot of that kind of stuff as well. So that's what's up. Appreciate that. Miss Erica Phil says, "Yep, I was part of adopting a stretch of 580 in Oakland. Yeah, man,
Okay.
that's a big California thing for real. Interesting stuff. But yeah, so there you go on that. We appreciate your willingness to do some of that stuff. I like when people can, I really believe in these neighborhood associations. That's where I think it all should start. I think that everybody should join theirs, and everybody should do a lot to bolster that, because there's a lot that can get done there, and especially when that's the first place you can organize several voices to go to your representatives and say, this is what our neighborhoods want, and we know that because we're talking to people that are actually in the neighborhoods. So there's Kimmer right there saying, just reach out. We can work with Keep Omaha Beautiful and utilize their tools.
There you go. There you go. There's actually several cleanups. There's like Keep America Beautiful having a cleanup throughout this month. So
Mm.
yeah, it might be some efforts, especially now that we're in the spring. spring cleanup season, might be some things to look into.
Absolutely. I need to spring clean up my house.
There you go. There you
Nice.
go.
Well, let's move on, man. It's 8:45 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, got about 15 minutes left in the show. What are some of the other things that we wanted to jump on before we get out of here, buddy?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's jump into a quick lightning round. We didn't really get too much into this news coming out about Pillen's education plan, but maybe we can definitely dive more into that on Friday with the senators. I'm sure they'll have a lot more insight on what's going on with that. But it does look like again, Jim Pillen, one of the first moves he made as governor of Nebraska, is putting down a $1 billion education plan. And it looks like that is moving ahead. It's being reported by Omaha World Herald that lawmakers advanced the plan on Tuesday, which will help balance out and spread balance out the spread of state funding to Nebraska's public schools. Again, Senator Wayne has been adamant about where some of those funds will not be going. Again, saying that some of the changes that he's been personally working for in OPS will still be delayed and not really assisted with this bill, LB 583, which is the operational piece of Pillen's education plan. And according to State Senator Rita Sanders Bellevue, who helped introduce the bill on the governor's behalf, the legislation would increase state aid for special education and would ensure every school district gets at least 1,500 for every student they enroll. The issue is, again, Senator Wayne says that while OPS students might get 1,500 for every student they enroll, he says that's in comparison to West Side schools, who I believe he mentioned they are receiving about $5,000 per student, which then
Hmm.
goes to why each student has a MacBook that they can check out from the school, and some of the resources that are available per student is directly tied to the dollar amount that comes from the funding
And
per
what's
student.
what's the reason why some students get more than others?
I believe it's just sheer size of the districts themselves. Again, the West Side in District 66 is substantially smaller than OPS, but that's just a guess. I don't know. How things like property taxes, things like that, bonds. I don't know how all of those uh, play a part in that figure.
It
So
shouldn't play a part in Pillen's money. That's not coming from interesting, man. Linda Lathan is saying, I've been saying this forever. Why do property taxes fund schools? Make it make sense. I don't even think that's the case on this one though. This is some extra money that he's supposed to be coming up with. Uh, here's a quote that Paul Hamill quoted Justin Wayne in a tweet saying, "Inequitable school funding is one of the key problems facing school districts with low income and students of color," said Justin Wayne. "This is that quiet racism we do in this body,"
mhm.
said Wayne, saying that Team Pillen's school aid plan does little to address poverty. Just brother Wayne saying that got me wondering about, and then hearing these numbers. Why do some kids get 1,000, some kids get five?
Yeah, again, we'll have to ask Senator Wayne. I'm sure he has a lot more input on exactly how those figures are calculated, and what impacts them, what makes that number move. But according to this article, local lawmakers generally agree that there is a lack of state funding for education, and it is a problem, and that a major contributor to that problem is local property taxes. So again, I don't know what the formula entails. What are all the factors? How they come up with this number? But I do know that that is something that I personally witnessed being a student in OPS, having family members who were students in District 66, and seeing some of the resources that they had even back in 2006, 2005. They had MacBook Pros and iPads back then.
Right.
So I can only imagine what types of resources are available to the students now, and now I see why. Because again, as Senator Wayne said, they have more money per student. There's just more money. Again, we'll definitely have to break down how that works. But that's just the tip of the iceberg as far as Pillen's education plan. Of course, there's the whole issue of charter schools,
Mm.
private schools. There's a lot there, not just the funding formula, but the types of schools and other revenue issues as well. So yeah, we'll definitely keep our eyes on that one.
Yeah, and if you have any thoughts on this subject as well, let us know. If any information, though, we're as you can see, we're looking to find some more information on some of these subjects. Why, what happened there? We knew that Pillen was going to be going after big dollars for school. I
Hmm.
remember us reporting on it at one time, saying, "Hey, this could be good," and it probably still could be good, but is it fair? And so we kind of need to see what's going on there, especially when one of our senators that represent our neighborhoods is saying it ain't fair. We definitely will talk to Brother Wayne about that. That'll be one of the subjects that we have for Friday. So stay tuned because they will be on Friday. The dynamic duo, brothers Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne. Put some respect on their names and get your questions and stuff ready for them as well.
Definitely, definitely. In other news, Union Pacific is being sued after firing a railroad worker on medical leave, which goes right to the heart of the whole railroad standoff that we've been talking about for most of this year, as far as the possibility of railroad workers and the union that supports them stepping down and really halting a lot of the freight and logistics that happen across the country. Again, that gives us access to some of our favorite products that might be in danger. And again, Union Pacific, this lawsuit that they're under is directly tied to some of those concerns that union members have. Again, Union Pacific routinely hires private investigators to check out employees' medical leave claims and then fires anyone who happens to leave their house while out on leave, according to a lawsuit filed against the railroad. The lawyer who last month filed one of the first lawsuits in a case like this in Texas said this practice is another example of how the railroads keep the pressure on train crews to remain on call 24/7 while making them afraid to take unpaid time off that they're supposed to get under the Family Medical Leave Act. So again, very very hard for rail crews to get the benefits and the time that they need. Again, Mayor Sanchez, I would definitely love to hear from you if you have any input on this reality. But again, this is not just in Nebraska. Now that the Texas case is moving forward in the courts, the lawyer Nick Thompson says that he plans to look into claims of other several UP employees who have contacted him in similar claims and concerns that could again turn into additional lawsuits. Ultimately, this is the effect Union Pacific wants. It scares people from using FMLA, according to the lawyer. So it seems like intimidation, um, oppression, really, and it just again speaks more to what some of the rail workers were speaking about as far as the conditions that they're under, not being able to take sick leave, even when they might be sick, having to work, crazy hours, be on call at all times, and not really being able to live, man, and not getting paid accordingly. Very, 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 very crazy situation, and I would not be surprised or blame some of these rail workers if they did strike.
Yeah, strike, sue, all of that. Union Pacific is a huge industry in Nebraska that really affects a lot of people in Omaha. I know 4 or 5 people that work for UP myself that are always very very much complaining about the situation. And from what I understand, all companies across the board there in the railway industry have these same kind of complaints and things going on. Here's Arrow 402 right now saying Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, BNSF better not start a family.
Man,
Wow. There's one of them right there. There's the friend for Sky Omaha that is associated with the rail industry that has been saying from day one when we started reporting on some of these things, the terrible conditions that are there and the changes that need be. So, and then of course we went all last summer talking about the strikes that
mm-hmm.
were, inevitable. Even President Biden had to step in and try to squash. So ongoing story, and it's just interesting that here we are again reporting about some workers that are trying to strike, and over the reason why. You go on medical leave, get fired.
Man, can't
How
get
you gonna,
sick
how you gonna go on medical leave and get fired,
on your day off.
man?
Yeah, and
Fired.
apparently it's across the board. Like it seems like the whole industry is rife with this type of just oppression. Let's just call it what it is. It's not just BNSF. It's not just Union Pacific, but also CSX. And another rail company, Norfolk Southern, they've been sued and called into question about how they administer FMLA as well. So yeah, I'm not sure what it is about this intimidation tactic, but again, I wouldn't blame the union for striking.
Yeah. We'll definitely talk about it more. We got about 5 minutes left in the show. Anything else you want to mention before we jump into the haps, or could we go
Yeah,
ahead?
yeah. We don't really talk about world news much, and we didn't really get into as far as what happened with the Vatican last episode. But also, there's more news coming out economically. What's going on? Again, if you're not familiar, there's some economic standoffs that are happening. Major world powerhouses are, namely the BRICS nations, are stepping out of their use of the U.S. dollar. Again, the U.S. dollar has been kind of the main currency in many central reserves around the world. And it looks like BRICS, which stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they're all teaming up to create their own currency, which could definitely lend a blow to the U.S. dollar, which is we're already dealing with inflation. So that could mean more issues. Please pay attention to what's going on in the world economy, because it can definitely impact our bottom line here coming up. And then, of course, with the Vatican, as far as their denouncing the doctrine of discovery. A lot of things, a lot of shifts, a lot of changes happening on the global scale as far as global politics, global power, and where America stands in all of that. So,
Much deeper conversation we'll
yeah,
definitely get
man.
into.
Yeah, man.
Yep. We'll spend some time on that another day. But in the meantime, between time, about 4 minutes left in the show. If you have any haps that you think we need to be checking out, let us know. What's going on with the legislature? Anybody going up to the legislature this week? Where we at with that? And in the meantime, between time, let's jump into a little bit of haps, man, because we got to
Hey.
figure out what's going down.
What's the haps? What's happening? What's going down?
There it is. What's going on? What's going
Hey.
down? There's a couple things that we definitely want to talk about here that we think is pretty important stuff going on. Number one, this street scholars situation happened on April 15th. Please mark your calendars for this and go and check this out at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. This is brought to you by the Lewis brothers, also Brother Kasim, backed by the BAA. As you can see, they have some other sponsors. The Simple Foundation. Is this code 1 outreach? Is that what that says?
I can't really see.
I don't think I've heard of them. We have to check it out. But definitely some special guests coming through, talking about real gang education, what we can do about keeping our kids safe. You're going to have ex-gangbangers there, ex-victims speaking, very powerful speakers that are going to be there. Of course, very powerful leaders in Leo Lewis, Brother Kasim, BAA, Black Agenda Alliance. Definitely something to go and check out and be a part of from 2 to 4 on April 15th at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. So they put a lot of effort into this particular event, and we feel like it's a very important one. Everybody wants to talk about what we can do about keeping the kids safe and having less violence in the city. There's bigger organizations, big suit organizations that have one side of things they're trying to take care of, and then you got brothers on the street that are boots in the roots that are dealing with the kids, dealing with the gangs, one-on-one, face-to-face. And that's what this stuff is about here. So definitely support this Street Scholars event and go check it out on April 15th, 2 to 4, Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, if you would. For sure. And, man, we started off the show talking about this Blue Note Festival. We're going to talk about it again because this is something that, I feel like we have such a connection between what's going on in the music world and what's going on in Omaha, Nebraska. We can't deny it. It's a whole industry. We're going to keep up with this and keep up with some of these things and push some of these things as well. If you go to firstskyOmaha.com, hit the listen button. A lot of these artists are being played on the channel. You can learn more about them that way as well. But there's a everybody talks about how the music scene of Omaha is strong and it's kind of one-sided. There's definitely different scenes. I'm always always trying to mix up the scene so we can have a lot of people from the black music scene and the white music scene kind of merge and do some things sometimes. But there's a lot of connections in the Atlanta area, in the California area, that is definitely part of that. Shout out to Miss Erica Felt that's telling us about George Clinton coming to the Steelhouse September 17th. Mark your calendars for that. Get your tickets early for that. I do believe this is going to be the last year that George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic are going to tour. So you definitely want to see that. Also, last thing over at the Benson Theater this Friday, first Friday, and we partnered up with Big Canvas, the 402 Arts, and also BFF for an event called A Night of Improv, Silent Film, and Music. It's going to be pretty different, man. If you want to see something different, come check it out. It's the April Fools at Benson Theater, and it's a mashup of classic comedy short films, high-octane improv, featuring Big Canvas and 402 Acting Academy improv troupe. And then Kevin Lloyd, who is a piano player, a friend of mine, is a super into the ragtime stuff, man. He's going to be playing to the silent films while they play. Yeah, so it'll be really dope. Really dope show. Go check it out, bensontheater.org for tickets on that, and check it out. New website coming soon for Benson Theater as well. Make it a little easier to see what's coming up. So we've been working on that. And we're also working on our new site too. First Sky Omaha will have a new site coming up as well. If we put out a call for volunteers, you guys want to help us put some things together that we can help, some organization that we can use some help with in order to bring some news and some haps to our site. And you have some time, let us know if you want to help out with that. We would love for you to team up on those things so we can make the site even more information based, and make it so that you can go to one place and find out what's going on. So that's what we're working on now, and more to come. So let us know if you have any haps, any things that you think is important that we need to be checking out as well. Drop them in Friends of First Sky Omaha for the moment until we get our website up. Then there might be the place to drop them after that, but for now we can drop them in Friends of First Sky Omaha and pay attention to that. Ariel's 402 says hit the like button on your way out. Thank you so much for everybody who's joined YouTube. We're over 200 members now, and I apparently that's given us some new toys to play with on YouTube. So we'll definitely look into that and see what's going on. Appreciate it, buddy. You got any words for the people?
No, man. Big shout out to the ladies for coming through. Precious McKesson and Kimara Snipes. Put some respect on their names. Thank them for taking some time out of their busy schedule to politic with us for a little bit. Of course, big shout out to all the chat chimers. Looks like we got well over, a good 100 or so comments. So big shout out to everybody who's, adding to the conversation, letting your mind be free, and more importantly, letting your voice be heard. Again, we could not do the show without all of you. So we definitely thank you. We appreciate you. We love you as always. And catch the same time, same place on Friday. Doing this again.
Love it. That woman says great show and great info in the comments. Thank you everyone for starting my day right. Drink water, check your health, direct your wealth, and be good to yourselves. Appreciate that very much. Pop
there
says,
you go.
Women's Wednesday is always a hit. Thanks for another great show. See you on Friday, and mad love from Las Vegas to you all. Thanks, Pops. Appreciate you very much. Mad love to you and the fam out in Las Vegas, man. Appreciate all you guys that are out there checking us out. And shout out to the morning crew, man, the 6:30 crew. If you guys are still with us, thank you so much for joining us over on the radio channel as well. And thank everybody who is a reoccurring member. I kind of went over some of the memberships last night. If you have paused your membership or you've canceled your membership for any reason, let us know why, what we can do, and maybe consider becoming a member again. Check us out over on Friends of First Sky Omaha. Hit the donate button and become a reoccurring member so we can keep this conversation rolling the way we do. Don't forget to check out William King's show. Go to 95.7 The Boss page and check out when Brother Goins is coming on so we can continue that conversation after we see that interview. So shout out to Brother King for coming on the show this morning. We'd love to have you on and have a discussion between media men. So let's make it happen, man. Let's boss with the boss. If we can do that. Between time, man, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And shout out to you, the chat chimers, for allowing us to speak with you. We really, really love these conversations. It really just kind of set, like you guys say, it sets the day off right. No one getting your thoughts together about what you're going to think and feel about what's going on in our world around us and politics that affect our lives all the time. And just lifestyle stuff. Remember to keep your art. Remember to listen to the music that you love. Listen to some new music. It's not all trash out there. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there. Every single person on this list right here is coming up with legendary material, positive, legendary material. And so it is not all trash. Forget the radio. Go take a look and see what's going on your titles and on your Spotify's. type in some names and actually listen to some really good stuff. So
Yeah.
I highly encourage that. We're going to get out of here, though. We are late as per usual. We're going to go ahead and let you get on about your day. Join us Friday again for Brother Senators Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne will come on and we can talk to them about some things that's going on in the legislature. Again, shout out to Kimara Snipes and Precious McKesson. Put some respect on their names for joining us today. We really appreciate them getting up early and going to where incorporating us in their day, their busy days is always a blessing. So appreciate it very much. Buddy, you ready to get out of here?
Yes. Man, shout out to Sarah Phelps. Says this is the only show that she listens to. So thank you. Man, appreciate that.
Only show I listen to too. I appreciate
it. And on that note, catch the same time, same place on Friday. In the meantime, in between time, peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any